Hello everybody, I am Crystal Clear 101. Welcome back to my channel. We have a Star Wars toy review, and I have a fairly interesting piece to bring you today. I am bringing you the Bandai S.H.Figuarts Star Wars Darth Vader. Now this figure was released in late 2015. Now this figure, if I'm not mistaken, is for the most part exclusive to Japan. But this figure is available through Big Bad Toy Store if you're interested in him. And as far as the suggested retail goes, I've seen Big Bad Toy Store go from $59.99 on this die up to $84.99. So he's a little bit of a pricey figure. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the packaging for this figure, because the packaging is rather exquisite on this figure. Now, the bottom portion of the packaging, number one, not only does it have the Star Wars logo right around the figure itself, but right underneath the center of Wars, it has S.H.Figuarts. It also has the name of the character in both English as well as Japanese. The very bottom right corner has Bandai and has Tomashi Nations. I guess both the companies that are involved in making the figure. Now for the left hand side of the packaging, we have the Star Wars logo at the very top, along with the name of the character. Also a nice product shot of the figure itself, along with the S.H.Figuarts logo underneath the product shot. And underneath it is the motto for this line, which reads, S.H.Figuarts is a new standard figure series that incorporates the Bandai action figure art under the theme, Pursuing Character Expression Through Humanoid Action. And it does have the Disney logo in the very bottom right hand corner of the box. Now here is the reverse side of the packaging. Now before I go any further, let me just go ahead and state that the background for this is a very reflective metallic background. Matter of fact, you can actually make out my hand. That's how reflective that this really is. Now as far as some of the special features that are shown on the back of it, now, in the very top left-hand corner of the packaging, we have a couple of product shots. The first one at the very top is a shot of the figure itself actually holding his lightsaber. And right underneath it is one of the alternate options for the figure, which is where his right hand's been severed off, as seen in Return of the Jedi. And the third and final picture showing some of the various accessories and various product shots of the figure shows this Darth Vader with a couple of S.H.Figuarts stormtroopers. Now, you gotta admit, seeing Darth Vader with these two stormtroopers, that makes this very, very sweet. It also makes me want to get some of these stormtroopers just for this. Now, the entire right-hand side of the box is just a product shot of Vader holding his lightsaber with the Star Wars logo at the very top right corner, along with the S.H.Figuarts logo and the name of the character at the very bottom of the product shot. And with all that being shown, that pretty much does it for the packaging for this figure. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this figure. Let's see just how decent and awesome this figure really is. And now let's just see how cool this figure really is. First off, let's go ahead and give a 360-degree of the figure. Now, after taking him out and fooling with him, I do have pros, I do have cons about this figure. Now, let me go ahead and get my cons out of the way about the figure first. The first con I have, which is when I first read up about this figure, it said he was a 6-inch Darth Vader. So my first thought was, okay, he's going to be size-wise comparable to the Black Series Darth Vader, considering that's supposed to be the Black Series is supposed to be a 6-inch line. Upon getting him, well, just for size comparison, here is the Black Series Darth Vader. As you can see, he is smaller. So, you know, I honestly figured he'd be at least as tall as this one right here. But that's my first little negative about the figure. Number two, for a slightly smaller figure, he is a little pricey at $59.99, or as it's currently on Big Bad Toy Store for $84.99. He is a little pricey for a for a figure that's supposed to be within the 6-inch scale. I'm trying to think of a number 3 I can honestly give the figure. If I honestly do have to give one, it might be a simple fact that he does require, as far as getting him to actually stand on his feet, you do have to find his balance. I guess that's a number 3 I'd give. Actually, one I can give is the base of the shoulders are on they're basically like a double joint. Now, the shoulder itself is a ball hinge, while the inside, the actual base of it is on a ball joint. So, while it does give you this kind of motion, however, whenever you do actually start to fool around with him, this piece likes to, come out, fool around, do all that. So, just get it to stay about like so, can get a little annoying. The cape does drape over this left shoulder piece right here, so it can interfere somewhat with this piece right here. One complaint, a couple of complaints I have been hearing about this figure from other people is how the cape itself is kind of a rubberish kind of plastic and not cloth. That for me is a non-issue. That's not an issue for me. And I'll explain to you why in just a moment. Another one I have heard some people complain about is how he has a forehead right here on the helmet. And for me, that's probably one of the things about this figure I honestly really like is the head sculpt. Because to me, the head sculpt just screams Darth Vader. It looks like Darth Vader. This makes me think Darth Vader. So for me, the forehead right up here, for me, is a non-issue, considering just how good this figure itself actually does look. Now, as far as what I do like, I just mentioned the head sculpt. I think the head sculpt looks fine. I think it looks really good. Another thing I do like is that even though, yeah, he does have this rubberish plastic kind of cape, here's what I do like about it over a cloth cape, which is, as I mentioned, it can be a little tricky to have him, stand up just right. However, if you are having a hard time getting him to stand, he does fall back. He falls back on this cape. It makes it a hell of a lot easier for him to be able to stand up. So that I do like. As you can see, he is backwards, but yet he is resting on this cape. So that makes it a lot easier as far as actually displaying him goes. The various attention to detail on the figure, I actually do like. For instance, the chest piece, the chest panel right here. All the various intricate little paint apps they put into it, as well as the various, I believe it's supposed to be his life support on his belt. Just the various little paint apps they did on the belt. I mean, there's really no blotches. There's no screw up as far as the paint goes. The paint itself actually is good. The paint apps are excellent on this figure. As well as the little chest piece right up here, how you can make out the individual lines between the black, the gunmetal gray. Also, if I do have to give another minor complaint, is that the chain that's used for the cape is a gunmetal gray. It's not silver. It's not a silver or a aluminum color. It's just the same color as the mask. It's the same color as this. So I wish they would have actually changed the color of the chain for the cape itself. Now, another thing I actually do like is he is very articulated. He's got a ton of articulation. So the display options for him are, I wouldn't say just about endless, but it gives you a ton of options as far as his display goes. Now, another thing that does make this a lot easier, in addition to the articulation, is he does come with some accessories. Namely, he does come with this optional lightsaber hilt. That's just the hilt. It don't have the blade on it. He also does come with several, I repeat, several pairs of hands. These are just some of the options right here. So these plus the ones currently on him, that brings it up to 6 hands or 3 pairs of hands, as well as an optional piece for his right hand. Now let me get my camera focused on that. Is his severed right wrist. Well, I should say right hand, but it's just his wrist from where Luke Skywalker hacks off his right hand during the final duel in Return of the Jedi. Now, while I think this is a very, very cool piece to have, matter of fact, I'll put this on Vader in just a moment, but from what I remember from Return of the Jedi, after he cuts off his hand, you're able to make out individual wires, especially like blue wires, red wires, various different colored wires. This is just straight up silver. If I have, aside from the fact that it's just one solid color in there, I will say that the burn mark from the lightsaber does look good. However, I wish they would have just added like some minor paint apps. But considering how small the piece itself is, I'm really not going to be complaining. Now, as far as how it looks on the figure itself, now most of these hands, in order to interchange them, all you gotta do is just pop out the actual hand itself. The hands themselves are on a little hinge, like so. Now, in order to actually put the severed wrist on, just have to grab this piece right here, give it a nice little pull. It's gonna be severed at first, then just put this piece on, and there you go. You have Darth Vader from his final battle with Luke in Return of the Jedi. I mean, that is a very, very cool little optional piece to come with the figure. Now, as I said, I love all the various accessories he does come with. He doesn't come with too terribly many, but it's just enough to allow you to display him however you please. As Darth Vader said in The Empire Strikes Back, impressive, most impressive. That is what I can say about this figure. Now, the articulation, the accessories he does come with, it's great. For me, this is probably one of the best representations for Darth Vader in the sentient scale you can find. But aside from the few minor complaints, I really don't have too many complaints about this particular Darth Vader. Weapons and accessories for the Figuarts Darth Vader include 2 lightsabers, one being just the hilt, and the other actually consisting of the lightsaber blade itself, as well as 3 pairs of hands, as well as an altered, severed right hand after Darth Vader's final battle with Luke Skywalker at the end of Return of the Jedi. And articulation for the Figuarts Darth Vader consists of a ball-jointed head, ball-hinged shoulders with a ball-jointed base, swivel biceps, double-hinged elbows, ball-hinged wrists, ball-jointed waist, ball-jointed hips with a ball-jointed base, swivel thighs, double-hinged knees, ball-hinged ankles, and hinged toes. And overall, what is my personal verdict, my personal thoughts on the Figuarts Darth Vader? Well, if you do not mind how pricey this figure really is, then I would highly suggest you go out and grab this particular figure. I mean, the paint apps, the articulation, the attention to detail, just about everything about this figure, to me, is excellent. Would I call him perfect? No, I wouldn't call him perfect. Now, to me, is he better than, say, the Black Series Darth Vader? As far as attention to detail goes, yes, he is better. He does come with a nice selection of accessories, namely different hands. He does come with 2 different lightsabers. The articulation and the accessories makes for a great number of display options. But if you do not mind the $59.99 to as high as $84.99 that he retails for, if you do not mind that, then by all means, go out and grab this figure. To me, this is probably my favorite Darth Vader I have got my hands on. And me, I am not disappointed with this figure one bit. I personally got him for $59.99 off Big Bad Toy Store, and to me, he is worth every single penny. To me, this is, my definitive Darth Vader in my collection. But this will wrap up my review on the Bandai S.H.Figuarts Star Wars Darth Vader. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.